A very enjoyable afternoon and evening. Welcome to the Pulse, part of Matchday Live. We're going to be reacting to Chelsea beating Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates. I'm joined by Zach Jalab and Abby McCarthy as well. It has been a brilliant afternoon. Also joined on Zoom by the brilliant Will Murray. Mate, how are you? I mean, we're all very, very happy. What a performance, what a result.
What more could you want? What more could you want?
What a debut from Romelu Lukaku. I do believe that this is going to be dominated by Romelu Lukaku chat, in fairness, over the next however long we're on. But it's going to be incredible, isn't it? How good was he today?
He did what you expected him to do and you want him to do. You've got two options when you're a defender. You either foul him because he's just too strong, or you just have to let him do what he does, which is hold you back and turn on you. And he did that so many times. It's great.
It's lovely to see it, Zach, but also there is a party that thinks, just leave Murray and Holding alone now, mate, because they've had a nightmare this afternoon. They're brilliant footballers, but Romelu Lukaku was that good today, it looked like he was playing 2 or 3 levels above himself.
I mean, if I'm Murray today, I'd be having nightmares. I'd be worried about getting in my car if he's following me in there. It was really, really frightening. And it was, I knew he'd got better at his hold-up play. But, my Lord, I have not seen something like that in the Premier League, maybe ever. Like, I'm trying to think, maybe since Drogba, maybe since Diego Costa against Gabriel back a few years back. That was mightily impressive. And to get your first goal as well, you saw it meant to him. And the shushing, everything about it was brilliant.
I do feel, Abby, that we're, as Chelsea fans, obviously, we're very ready for the onslaught of Lukaku taking over the world. But the performance he's just put in today, every word that we can say to give him the credit he deserves, it probably won't be enough because he was phenomenal today.
An absolutely incredible debut. Kind of couldn't have asked for more for him, really. He deserved more goals if anything. But his hold-up play, his physicality, his finishing. He's he's already pointing where he wants the ball. He's directing traffic with the other players. He is just world class, and we are so lucky to have him. And you can see what it meant to all the fans that were there as well, already singing his name. Yeah, I mean, he's king, isn't he?
He really is. I mean, he's dominating this chat. He's obviously going to dominate your timelines for a good while as well. Let's have a little look at the Pulse, the game on social, and yeah, as you'd imagine, Romelu Lukaku very much involved. Lukaku in Chelsea blue once again, and it is absolutely beautiful sight. It really is, isn't it? Big Rom channeling his inner Drogba today. I mean,
100%.
All the talk beforehand was about Drogba's influence on Romelu Lukaku. And you could really see that, Will, couldn't you? Because we know that he talks a lot. He speaks a lot more than I think any of us realise until he spoke to Lee Parker earlier in the week. The video is still up on the Fifth Stand, well worth watching. He says that he speaks to Drogba like 2 or 3 times a week. Well, I'll tell you what, if he was speaking to him last night, I think he must have sent him for a PDF to say this is how you play against Arsenal, because he's just executed that unbelievably.
Yeah. He also said in that interview that he knows quite a lot of the players, and seeing him today with Reece James, they just already look like best friends. And if you want a chant, Waterloo by ABBA, but with Romelu. Promise to love you forevermore.
That's phenomenal. I tell you, we set you a challenge before, Will. You've come up trumps there, mate. I tell you what, Lukaku was running away with man of the match. You're a close second at this point. Well played. That's phenomenal. If you sort us some tickets, I can get to the bridge and start with the fans. Abby, he's been all week. He looks delighted to be back. He looks happy. He looks comfortable. He looks calm. And like Will's just said there, it looks like he's been a Chelsea player for so long. He's directing traffic, he's talking, he's got his arm around the players in the warm-up. He looks like he's been here a year and a half. Yeah. He's been a Chelsea player for, I think, 10 days. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it's kind of like, what? But he's just fully part of this team. I actually love the kind of sense of unity. You can see it, can't you, in this Chelsea team at the moment. And I know we're getting excited because we're Chelsea fans, but this is a really exciting era for Chelsea. This particular team are kind of unstoppable, potentially.
Oh, well, that's exactly it, isn't it? I mean, it took him 14 minutes to score on his second debut for Chelsea. Let's have a look at how Twitter reacted to that, which I think probably, as you can imagine, Simon Johnson does a lot of Chelsea coverage, a very respected journalist. That didn't take long, absolutely right. 14 minutes on the clock before Romelu Lukaku bagged. Kaleem Azam, Pablo Mari just didn't fancy the battle. Lukaku just bullied him with ease. I mean, there will be enough highlights that you can watch on the Fifth Stand a little bit later on that will justify that. Lukaku is a perfect Chelsea fit, typically powerful number 9, impeccable hold-up play today. Zach, it feels like that's a narrative we're going to come back to a lot this season. Jason Cundy said it brilliantly on commentary. he can do everything. He can do everything, and that's what makes Chelsea a different animal now, because they've got Romelu Lukaku up top. If you want to go long, he can play him behind. He's got lightning pace. We saw that for his goal. He can play with his back to goal. He shrugs off players and runs into tight spaces. He's got everything, and it's difficult to not get overexcited, but he might just be the most complete centre-forward in world football.
He's definitely up there, 100%. I've been trying to think of the others in my head, and none are springing to mind.
Haaland.
Yeah, Lewandowski, Haaland, but even they have their flaws compared to, like, Haaland isn't necessarily that great at build-up play, whereas Lukaku today, we saw he was brilliant. It was probably unfortunate not to get an assist with Havertz when he nutmegged the keeper and it didn't roll over the line. He was unlucky not to get a second, really, maybe even a third. An unbelievable save from Leno, it has to be said. Mason Mount picked him out, and a bullet of a header, and you just got to sit there and go, you know what, unreal save, fair play to you. He was unlucky he didn't maybe even bounce over the line in the end. But everything about his game, and that's what, as a defender, must be so tricky. Because, OK, if you're coming up against a big striker, you can then at least go, that's all he can do, right? With Romelu, he might go to make it look like he wants to bring the ball and have you on his back, and instead turn you and be gone. And we saw that, as he said, with the first goal, his pace of getting behind the defender and getting the box. It's so exciting as a Chelsea fan to see. And as if you're not a Chelsea fan and you're any other Premier League club, I'd be scared, to be quite honest, after watching that.
Will, his record for scoring on his debut in the Premier League is frightening. He's scored now for Chelsea, West Brom, Manchester United and Everton, all on his Premier League debuts. We had a chat with him earlier in the week, and he pretended he didn't know. He was definitely aware that he has a frightening goal-scoring record when he joins teams. He scored 3 and 4 at Inter, 7 and 7 in his first 7 at United, and 5 and 5 at Everton. So this now is a very frightening proposition for Liverpool next week, Villa the week after, or after the international break. He likes to start early, and it took him 14 minutes.
Yeah, I think Tuchel he should be delighted. I think when we're going into games like Liverpool next weekend, they're the games that maybe last season you think on paper we should be able to give it a good go, but sometimes you get there and you're kind of struggling to find a goal. But, you know, now with Lukaku and as you see the quality that we've got on the bench to bring on, if there's not a goal there, it's fixed what was maybe a little hole last season.
And he's one of those players, you've already mentioned it, Will, but Reece James is going to play a big part in that this season, because his delivery from wide areas, we know how good it is, but also Reece contributing with a goal himself. This is how Twitter reacted to Chelsea's second of the afternoon from Reece James. Adam Newson, Reece James celebrating in front of the Arsenal supporters. What a guy.
To see it.
What a guy. We love to see it. And the veins were popping in his wrists and everything. He was buzzing for it. Every fibre of him loved that goal. Danny Alves has Reece James posters on his wall. Pass it on. I mean, there may be one or two in the future, Abby, that certainly look at Reece James as being the complete fullback. And, you know, there's often chat. We're always going to lend on the side of Chelsea fans and think that he is the most complete fullback. But defensively, he's brilliant. He's strong. He's powerful. He's good in the air.
He's quick.
He's quick. His passing ability. His assisting power. It's difficult to say. His assisting power is phenomenal. If he can add goals to his game as well, again, sky's the limit, and you've got a beautifully made footballer from our very own academy. Yeah,
goals is probably the only thing missing from his game, and they're hopefully kind of coming now. So
when he scores, they're stunners as well. Yeah, he's going to be a frightening proposition, I think. He's going to be so good. And again, Zach, defensively, I suppose, not to dig Arsenal out at all, he wasn't really tested today. Chelsea weren't really tested defensively. There was the one tackle from Azpilicueta where he shuts the door on Smith Rowe, but other than that, it's not a huge amount that Chelsea have had to do today. I suppose that's going to be the bigger test next week, as we play 2 games against Crystal Palace and Arsenal and haven't really laid a glove on us. Yeah, I would say. I think Arsenal had moments today, as you mentioned, very much on the counter-attack with their pacey players in behind, but we managed to deal with it fairly easy in the end. A couple of maybe chances here and there. And obviously, Liverpool next week, Mohamed Salah, Roberto Firmino, Jota, Mane, like they've got a fantastic front line. And I'm sure that'll be kind of the bigger test. And you may even see Kanté come back into fold then as well. But you've got to give them credit. I mean, they can only defend what's in front of them, and they've been fantastic every step of the way. Christensen deserves a massive shout-out. I think we've kind of forgotten, actually. He hasn't played that much during pre-season either, but has come straight into the side and been fantastic. Aspie, I mean, it's his birthday, I think, this week or next week coming, and you just think, God, this guy never seems to be getting older. Fine wine, isn't he?
He really is, and it's been fantastic, and all of them as well. Alonso and Reece James did their end, and it's been a really good performance defensively.
Like you said, there's so many many players that we could shout out, and you go through the 11. Romelu Lukaku and Reece James are naturally going to get the headlines. But let's have a little word of Kai Havertz, because I thought he was brilliant today, and I think Twitter picked up on that. His link-up play for the second goal, but yeah, good friend of yours, isn't he, Zach? And again, he's a very passionate Man United fan, isn't he? So he's seeing this from a very neutral sort of perspective. But Lukaku and James obviously fantastic first half, but Kai Havertz is borderline unplayable when he's on it like this. The feet for the goal. It was the second goal, was it Reece James? The little outside of the foot flick as he's falling over on the touchline to play in Marcus Alonso.
Beats two men.
He's sensational. Abby, and we've seen with Kai Havertz, he does things that look ridiculous and he makes them look easy because he's that talented. He's got that ability to look so calm and casual, like he's walking his dog around Wimbledon Common, yet he's playing in front of 60,000 people that are expecting him to do something, and he does it. He's a sensational player, and if anyone's going to get the best out of him, playing alongside Romelu Lukaku isn't a bad way to start.
Well, exactly. But like you say, he's one of those players who always just looks so relaxed. And everyone always talks about how kind of classy he is. His touch is just impeccable, isn't it? You know, his little flicks here and there. He is just a fantastic player. The thing is, you kind of can't pick out really like a man of the match today, can you? Because defensively we were brilliant. Yes, we maybe weren't tested so much, but I mean, obviously Lukaku I think was the missing piece for us. I'm excited to see him work with Timo as well at some point. I think that's going to kind of aid Timo's game as well.
Saw a little glimpse of that towards the end, didn't we? But someone that was very keen to see his debut has tweeted about Romelu Lukaku's first Chelsea appearance, and I think we know what Didier Drogba is hinting at here. Arsenal and Chelsea, same old story. Didier has a terrific record against Chelsea, against Arsenal, as we know. We saw all the goals in the pre-match show. I think it's not me too long, Will, before Romelu Lukaku has a similar montage, because he started very well in those first 14 minutes, and he's going to be coming up against an Arsenal backline one or two more times in his Chelsea future.
Yeah. He, as I said, he did what you hoped and sort of expected he would do, and it's just brought that extra little bit of confidence, as I said, going into games like Liverpool when you've got to score goals in those games. So
He's just scary, isn't he? He is scary. We're gonna finish off the game on social with our favourite tweet of the day, and this is, I think, sums up a lot of what we're feeling, what we're thinking, what we're saying. I'm in the kitchen watching Chelsea play. We're both cooking. That is phenomenal. That is incredible, isn't it? That is sensational. But again, I mean, Chelsea did make it look like it was a starter. Main course comes next week, and then unfortunately Aston Villa are playing the dessert roll, so that is going to be a slight issue in a couple of weeks, isn't it? But again, how can you not get carried away with a performance like that, Zach?
Yeah, really, really impressive. I think if I'm being super critical, maybe it's like, okay, we haven't been tested fully yet in all departments. We haven't come up against a really good defence, haven't come up against a really good attack, midfield, so on and so forth. But watching Chelsea play like that and dominate games, especially when last year we lost both games in the Premier League to Arsenal, watching them dominate a game like that against essentially the same kind of opposition, if not maybe slightly stronger, and if anything, we've got a few players that still aren't necessarily fit, like Kanté wasn't even playing, Thiago Silva wasn't even playing, Ben Chilwell wasn't even playing, and yeah, you can't. It's difficult to not get carried away because it's just so exciting, and we come away from it probably going, oh, we should have maybe scored two more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Lukaku header from Leno's save, again, you can watch that later on the fifth stand-up if you haven't seen it. It's a stunning save. It really, really is. Will, thank you so much for joining us, mate. Thank you very much for your time today. I mean, what a game to watch through with us. Just talk us through when we can hear your debut album as well.
So we've just released the first single. That's out now on all streaming platforms. And then the album comes out on the 5th of November.
Fantastic, mate. We'll definitely have to get you back in the season and have a little chat about that. That'd be brilliant, mate. Thank you so much for your time. Again, enjoy the rest of your eevening, because I'm sure it will fly by now. And get in that WhatsApp group to your Arsenal pals as well. Let them know.
Yeah, you too. Cheers.
Top man. Cheers. Thank you very much, boy. We are very, very blessed to be in this position now that we've started with 6 points out of 6, Abby.
Oh, that's what I mean. What a phenomenal start. And it feels like we can keep on going. Like I was saying, I feel like Lukaku was that missing part, you know, that out-and-out striker that we needed. So, yeah, I think people are probably watching us right now and they don't want to play Chelsea.
That's the thing, isn't it, Zach? Because you look at other teams that are kind of getting into it. You know, we saw Manchester City have not really fielded their first 11 as of yet. Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk has come back from a very serious injury. He looks brilliant. He always looks brilliant. He's a fantastic footballer. However, he's not really been tested. Again, nothing against Chris Wood and Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes, but Romelu Lukaku is a very different proposition to anyone he's faced so far.
Yeah.
That's a big test for Virgil van Dijk, and this early on into his recovery might favour Chelsea playing him this early.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're right. Doing an injury like Van Dijk did, it takes time to come back, and especially where your first couple of games, you're getting used to it again. You've not played professional football for God knows how long, 9 months or so. So yeah, coming up against Romelu Lukaku probably isn't the biggest thing he's looking forward to. But it's going to be a good test. I mean, it's going to be a really good test to get Lukaku against that Liverpool defence, without, again, being too harsh to Arsenal. Liverpool's kind of players that they have in that defence are probably better than what Arsenal had today. Obviously, Ben White didn't play, and a few others. Tierney came off injured, and so yeah, it'll be a really good test. I think the league-wise, these are the big games. You need to be winning the games you're going to be competing the league for. So beating Liverpool, beating Manchester City, United, these kind of games are what's going to maybe be the big point decider. So hopefully we do so.
Away from home, 22 shots and over 60% possession at the Emirates today. That is a statement and a half, isn't it? Isn't it just right? We are joined by the brilliant Jonathan, who's joined us from before the game over in Singapore. He's been having a fan party for us. And again, it's a very late night for you there, Jonathan. So when 3 points and a performance like that come through, I'm sure it doesn't matter at all, does it?
Yeah, definitely. We, fans from Singapore, we stay for times like this, watching us beat our London rivals, and in a very comprehensive way as well.
It was exactly that. I was just going to say it was comfortable in the end, wasn't it? And again, I suppose I was going to ask you if you finished the chicken wings. You had plenty of time because Chelsea were in command so much. I imagine you could have dipped in and out of all your snacks throughout the game.
Yeah, definitely. It was comfortable for us. Apart from a few moments here and there, it was mainly comfortable this game. But next week will be a different story, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think it will be a very different story next week. Like Zach's already alluded to, Liverpool are good. Let's have a little look at our knee-jerk reactions. And obviously, as Chelsea fans, you always get carried away straight away after a football game. Every football fan in the world does it. This is Abby's knee-jerk reaction straight after full-time. Obviously, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek. Of course it is. Of course it is. We're getting carried away. We're having a laugh. We're enjoying it. We've beat Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates. And Abby, just talk us through that then.
I mean, Paul Murray. I mean, Lukaku was just all over him. He didn't really stand a chance, did he? I think he's a brilliant player, but Lukaku made him look bang average because he's phenomenal.
And that's the thing, isn't it? I think none of this is a slight on any Arsenal player because it's more Romelu Lukaku was imperious today. You could have stuck Franz Beckenbauer up against him and he'd have had a handful. Like, he was that good today. I really do believe that. Zach, let's have a little look at your knee-jerk reaction then, shall we, mate? What have you gone with today? This is okay, yeah, okay, very Lukaku link. Talk me through this, mate.
Yeah, I mean, after a game like that, he just gets into so many opportunities. It feels like he's going to score in every single game he plays. And Chelsea creates so many chances. I think he's going to have the opportunity to score 20 plus, and we've really missed a striker like that. And I think he thrives in that pressure. He'll be targeting it. I mean, he was trying to target it when he was at United. He's now a better striker. If anything, he'll be wanting to win it and maybe even try and break the record.
We're going to hear from Romelu Lukaku in a little while, so stand by for that on the fifth stand-up. Here's what I've gone with today, and again, I think I've been slightly balanced. I think I've calmed it down a little bit, but
calm.
But in all honesty, the way we were playing today, and again, not to dig Arsenal out, this is going to seem like a very mean theme to the show. However, Arsenal aren't going to be our main title rivals. Arsenal aren't going to be the team that we compare ourselves against. Liverpool next week may well be. Manchester City will be. Manchester United will be. However, I do feel the way we're playing, we've got a very, very good chance of going all the way. And again, tongue-in-cheek, we were saying it at the start of September last year in the first Champions League game that we were going to win the Champions League. All I'm saying is I'm 1 from 1. So, Jonathan, what's your immediate reaction to the game? Have you got any outlandish statements you want to give us?
Let's take it slow. I think Liverpool will be a totally different ball game. I think we make Arsenal look average. So this is how good we are today. With Kanté back, with Chilwell, Ziyech, I see good things happening. I think Lukaku will get lots of service, and Golden Boot might be a possibility.
think you're absolutely right. And Abby, like Jonathan's just said there, the players that he's mentioned that we've not had involved today, the strength in depth. And again, it's a massive cliche, but the biggest and best managers do it in terms of teams win you games, but squads win you championships. You know, it's when you can dip into, when you've got 3 or 4 injuries in December, who can you bring in? And if you're then having to dip into your academy and untested players that aren't maybe at that level just yet, Chelsea haven't got that problem. They've got 25 seasoned internationals that are playing at the very highest level every week. Callum Hudson-Odoi, for me, was Chelsea's best player in pre-season. We've not seen him at all yet. And again, you've got so many players. Thiago Silva, we've not really seen much of yet. There's so many players coming in. This looks like a very, very strong Chelsea team. Yeah,
exactly. Just because the depth is there. Like, I did actually feel pretty bad for Arsenal today. Obviously, a couple of players of theirs went off with injuries. And, you know, I'm obviously not saying I want our players to be injured, but if that does happen, or, you know, squad rotation, we have got so many options and they're all as kind of brilliant as each other. So, yeah, we're in a very strong position right now. And I feel very smug saying it, but it's true.
It's very true. I don't know if it's officially been given to him yet. I don't know if Man of the Match covers it. So, Man of the Moment, Romelu Lukaku, joins our team pitch side at the Emirates.
Romelu, well done. That was a perfect second debut for you, pretty much.
yeah, it was good. I'm very happy with the win. Obviously, winning against Arsenal is great for me. For the team, it was good to win like this. You know, the performances that we did today was good. You know, it was a complete performance. I think we could have scored more, but I'm really happy today.
You usually score on your debut. This, of course, was your second debut for Chelsea, but I guess any nerves that you might have had settled as soon as the ball hit the back of the net.
Yeah, I think today, to be honest, 12 years ago, I scored my first professional goal at 16 when I was at Anderlecht. So today, I already woke up with a good feeling. I was like, it might happen today. So I knew I had already a feeling before the game. Yeah.
How much did you enjoy hearing the reception you got from the Chelsea fans? It was pretty much constant throughout.
Yeah, it was great. You know, it's something that I dreamt of for many years, since I was 10 years old, to have those fans not supporting only me, but the team. You know, to be able to be part of this is great. You know, I always wanted this, and you know, I want this to continue. Obviously, today was a good win, but you know, we have to recover and hopefully build for the next game.
Obviously, you're mainly here to score goals. That's the main part of your job. But slightly different in the second half. We had to defend a bit more, and that starts with defending from the front, I guess, as well, isn't it? That's an important part of your role.
Yeah, it's something, you know, that it's different for me, because you know, most of the teams that I played in were very good on the counter. But now, you know, it's good to play in a team that wants to press from the front. And also for my individual game, you know, I always try to improve and learn new things. And I'm really happy that you know, we defended well as a team. Eddie from the back was very solid, and also the defenders did a great job. And you know, from there, you know, we know that, you know, we create so many chances that we can score every time.
Obviously, we've got so many options in attack, but today it was Kai and Mason who were alongside you. How did you find playing with them for the first time?
Yeah, it was great. We had great combinations. You know, those boys are very talented, very hungry, and you know, I feel blessed to be in a situation like this. You know, I have many players who I can link up with in the team, and you know, the coach has a lot of players at his disposal. So, you know, it's up to us to make sure that we train well, and then he has to make choices. But, you know, whoever that plays is going to be dangerous in this team.
And just finally, obviously you've waited a long time for your first Chelsea goal.
Yeah.
You've had lots of highs in your career, but this is a special moment for you, right?
Yeah, this is the highest. Yeah, this is the highest for sure.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
The brilliant Matt Davies-Adams speaking to Romelu Lukaku there, just smiles all round, genuinely. You would not believe the beam on all of our faces as he was talking there. He spoke about 12 years to the day since this goal, since his first professional goal. It was 9 years this week since his first Premier League goal, which was for West Brom away at Liverpool. And I know all of the chat and all the narrative has been he's coming home. He's coming home as one of the very best in his world. He's coming home as an elite player that's crafted himself. That hard work, that determination, but that personality as well, to straight away go, I've scored the goal today, I've been brilliant, but let's not talk about me, let's talk about the team. Name-checking the goalkeeper in his first interview after scoring a goal away at the Emirates. That says it all about his character, doesn't it? Yeah,
he's a really humble guy. I mean, he's someone that kind of keeps on stressing that, look, I don't care about how many goals I really score as long as we win. Or, you know, I'm happy to do the dirty work, the chasing, the pressing, the getting the assists. As long as you win, he seems to be happy. And it's nice to hear. I mean, we've built this relationship, I think, with the Chelsea squad over the past 2 years or so of these guys who are very, very much Chelsea. They all want to win for the team. They all back themselves, and he's come into that and slotted straight in perfectly. He's a big personality, but he's not a personality that's taking over and saying, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." Just talking about how excited, how great he found it playing with Kai Havertz and Mason was really interesting to hear. And yeah, he just seems so happy, man. It's like essentially you've got your biggest Chelsea fan playing up front. It's mental.
It's amazing, isn't it? I tell you what, it's a perfect time to set up our hashtag of the day. We're going to do this. We're going to try and get this across Twitter. So if you're watching now, make sure you're tweeting using this hashtag, because I think it's perfect for today, isn't it? Loving Lukaku. I mean,
gotta be. Who
isn't, Abby? There was a moment. I'm so sorry for keep bringing this comparison back to Didier Drogba, but I'm obsessed with Didier Drogba still, and it feels like Romelu Lukaku has got those similarities, those traits that we loved in him as a player. There was a header at the near post, a defensive header at the near post, which was so Didier Drogba. It was attack it at the near post space. When you've got a centre forward that can do it in both boxes, he adds, like Jason said in commentary, he adds far more than just goals. He adds everything. He adds personality, character, leadership. He takes those opportunities and those responsibilities that you want from a big number 9. And again, this is from a man that's only been in the building 4 days this week, I think. I think Tuesday was his first day, his first training session, Tuesday. And he already looks like a leader.
Yeah, he's so at home, isn't he? And as Zach said, he's the biggest Chelsea fan. You can tell he's so happy to be back, and he just wants the team to win. You kind of can't ask for more, really. Yeah, does the defensive work. He's a leader, like you say. What a guy. Loving Lukaku.
It's incredible. Loving Lukaku.
Stop
get
talking
on it. Get
about
on it. Jonathan as well. He had 8 shots in the game, right? And again, this is the kind of the chat that we were having before the game. What you want from a centre forward, you want them to almost be a little bit selfish, don't you? You want them to see the opportunity and take it straight away. Whether it's a clean shot, whether it's not, you want them to have that confidence, that ability to just go, I'm going to shift it and get a shot off. If he's having 8 shots in this game, can you imagine the shots that he's going to have against teams where we're having 30 shots on goal, we're having 70% of possession at Stamford Bridge in front of a packed shed end? Like he is going to be loving life this season, isn't he?
Definitely, not forgetting the pass he has to Mount, who shoot off target. So he's more than just a goal scorer, I believe. Like our favorite Didier Drogba, he's more than a goal scorer. He brings people in. The team is better with them around.
Absolutely right, absolutely right. And again, this is almost like a central midfielder playmaker stat, but 95% passing accuracy for Romelu Lukaku today.
Wow.
The criticism of Romelu, since he's been away, since he's been at other clubs, and we've all seen the criticism unfairly of him has been that his hold-up play isn't brilliant. His hold-up play is what lets him down. I tell you what, if there is anyone that's criticising him, watch the 90 minutes today and then delete every tweet you've ever sent, because that couldn't be further wrong.
You can see why he did that, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Well, I mean, but he definitely got overly criticised, but it wasn't maybe as... It was nowhere near as good as it was today. Oh, my goodness. You've seen that he's had to work on that, and he's already putting the hard yards. I heard that he was staying out after training doing shooting drills, and so you can already see the hard work that he's put in. And to see that come today against Arsenal, I mean, I mentioned earlier, like I knew he'd improved on it. I'd seen the highlights of the Inter Milan games. I've watched them in the Champions League against Barcelona and such. And I guess they play counter-attacking football, so you don't see it as often. But every single time he was on that Arsenal defender, I think they might have battled 20 times. He won at least 19 of them. It was ridiculous. It was a dominant performance. I can't think of the last time I saw someone that good at hold-up play. It was really a sight to behold.
Won 7 aerial duels as well, which is, again, the numbers are staggering. They really are. Loving Lukaku. Get on that one. Get on that hashtag. Jonathan, thank you so much for staying up late to join us, mate. Again, when performances and results are like that, I'm sure it doesn't matter at all. I hope work's not too painful in the morning when you've got an early alarm. But thank you so much, mate, and we'll chat to you through the season. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Top man, thank you very much. Let's have a little look at what's coming up then on the Fifth Stand this week. Well and truly underway now. The season is on and Chelsea are flying. Make sure you join us for the manager's press conference on Friday. And then on Saturday, it's the next big test for Thomas Tuchel's men. We travel to Anfield to take on Liverpool. 4:25 Matchday Live gets going for that one. And hopefully, well, the final game before the international break, hopefully another 3 points and Chelsea head into it 9 out of 9. We'll see. Zach, thank you so much, mate. Abby, brilliant as always. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. A perfect day, really, isn't it? 3 points away at the Emirates. Romelu Lukaku is back. Welcome home, Big Rom. Thank you for the goal.